It's luck manipulation, right?
And they're off.
Alright,
Here we go.
let's go. Her stream seems to be
Okay.
behind at the moment.
It'll sync up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the hardest trick in the game. Only like 30 seconds in. If you fall down, you lose like
It's looking
5
right
seconds.
off. I love wall jumping so much in Fusion. So much better than the other games. I always felt that that wall jumping in the other games was a little too straightforward. Like you just gain height and it had like no other physics effects whatsoever.
Alright, looks like Herc got it.
That kind of makes sense, yeah.
I'm just hoping Herc doesn't do 0% and start skipping items.
It's unlikely that he will. He'll probably even safety save a couple times.
You never know.
I would personally get the main deck, like 3 missiles at main deck. For Sector 1, because you need good missile management in Sector 1. Or you can easily lose lots of time.
Thank you, Paulsmore.
It's one of the reasons I feel it helps a bit to learn low percent, just so you like know more how to manage your missiles there as well. There are some places where it is just straight up faster to use missiles, but like it doesn't make a huge difference.
This is some wonderful platforming going on, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
So on Hercs, we have some more text. I feel like that's going to be a common theme throughout this game. I personally have not played this game, but
And yet you're commentating?
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he's the
Why-
expert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you have
He's
any
the color
questions with this
commentator.
game whatsoever, go ask Hubert.
I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my ability.
The color commentator, he just commentates with the color clear.
Obviously.
Herc's gonna get the missiles now.
Unless he doesn't. That's the thing.
It's pretty weak at the moment. Missiles are really useless at this point until you get an upgraded. You upgrade them to supers, then they become really useful.
Missiles' only real usefulness early game is the fact that they actually hurt things that need to be hurt. But once you obtain Charge Beam, it's pretty much that's your strongest weapon until you get your super missiles.
There are situations that call for missiles, though. Like if the fact that charge beam takes some time to charge up means that there are a lot of rooms in Sector 2 where you'll see a lot of missiles used.
You would see
Just 'cause
off
enemies are back to back.
often that they will always keep their beam charged. Like, doesn't really matter if they're not using it. Herc nearly skipped the missile. They'll always try and keep their beam charged because it's really useful everywhere. Because your charge beam is just overpowered and really strong. It one-shots everything nearly.
So what you
Especially in,
see,
Sector 2.
so what you just saw Hercules Bench Press do is what is known as an Idor double missile. there's basically a trick where you can do to line up 2 missiles over top of each other and hit the eye door with 2 of them at the same time, dealing double damage and skipping an extra round of RNG.
They got the swag climbing up the crumble block thing. So that was the Arachnis fight.
Wait, it's not the Anarchy fight? Dang. I thought I had the name down.
Seems Foxbot has a little bit of bad RNG with roll there.
So you want Arachnis to not roll. And if you can, get him to swipe. There's, you can manipulate him to a certain degree, but only if he does a certain move. But if you roll straight away, you're screwed, you're stuck. He's just gonna waste your time. I should explain how idols work. Idols can shoot up to 4 beams in a row, and it's random how long it takes the eye to open. And it also random if it shoots 0 to 4 beams. But what's weird is it's more likely to shoot 1 to 3 beams than it is to shoot 0 and 4. So it's very rare you get a 0 beam.
How much time does getting a 0 beam throughout the run save?
It varies. It could be up to like 2 minutes, maybe.
All right.
A minute. And
There's
a half.
I think there's a total of 9 eye doors, correct?
10.
10. So
And 2 of them cannot be killed in one shot. So
right. So yeah, about 2 minutes sounds right.
If you got like the worst RNG, you can easily lose over a minute.
You can easily lose over 2.
So when the SX shoots that door, doesn't matter if the door is open or closed, it will still blow it up.
The SAX just likes to waste missiles.
Like a certain runner.
the text throughout the game, it feels, if you're coming from other games, it feels like a really long time. But I guess on average, like outside of the Metroid games, it's probably not so bad. Mainly the way to get through text fast is to hold either A or down will speed up the text, and then those same buttons will also move on to the next line. So what a lot of players usually do is hold one of those buttons and then mash the other until the end of the line.
What I do is I hold the controller upside down. Because I'm weird.
You're crazy mad wackio.
But it works.
It does. It works very well, surprisingly.
So sector 1, you have to kill all 5 stabilizers, otherwise you can't leave. And if you kill them fast enough, the door opens quicker. It will always... But if you don't, the door will always open on the same frame. So if you miss the fast cycle, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your second cycle was slow; it will still open at the same time.
Basically, the amount of fog in the room will oscillate, and it'll only open the door when it's fully cleared out.
So it seems like both of our runners here have quite a low number of missiles currently. Herc might be okay because of how much further he is, but Foxbot is coming up behind him.
But when you're running along like that,
is the pirate room that Herc's going through. If you have no missiles, that room is just really, really bad.
If you have no missiles, it's pretty much a reset. Otherwise, you're going to be farming for missiles in the previous room.
Herc's okay. Herc got lucky with missiles there.
I think to note when you're learning the game is when you're running along the ground and you shoot a missile at something like beneath you, you can shoot much earlier than you think you can, because when you're running, the missile kind of bends forward, the trajectory of it. So normally you'll shoot a missile diagonally down, but it'll be like much more acute when you're running.
It looks like Foxbot's going to have to farm for some missiles.
Herc's got the charge beam, the most overpowered weapon in the game. Basically, the charge beam works in 3 parts. Like for the first charge beam upgrade, it shoots 3 parts. 2 parts are the actual beam itself, and the third part's the flare underneath that actually does damage and is useful for a boss to do a quick kill.
Which boss would that
A couple
be?
bosses you could be
There
using.
is.
Ah,
Probably in a couple more sectors.
So because Foxbot has to farm, he basically you always want to be at full health, because the higher your health is, the greater chance of a missile drop you're going to get, and vice versa.
So basically, full health guarantees missile drops.
that's the same with most Metroid games, right?
A lot of them.
And then
It's
there's
not
Spider
quite that
Mission.
way in Zero Mission, I don't think.
Zero Mission just doesn't like people.
Yeah, it's speedrunners.
That's why we play Fusion instead.
It doesn't hate speedrunners, but it's really weird.
Hey, look,
Unfortunately,
Samus
a lot of
talks.
time in Fusion is the talking and the elevators.
This
It's
game.
about
You go
30
ahead.
minutes worth of in-game time. Well, not in-game time. A lot of about 30
Real
minutes
time.
worth of real time that isn't tracked in the in-game time, and that includes all of the dialogue and the room transitions. So
So if there was no text, the game would be about like 50 minutes long. This
Roughly.
game's pretty short. Herc's gone to like RNG Central. So the first few rooms of Sector 2 are just RNG. You want the Zoros to be in good spots to maneuver around them quickly. Otherwise, they'll be in your way and you have to kill them.
Alright, so entering Sector 2. Sector 2 is the jungly area, right?
Yes.
yeah, it's deceptively hard in speedruns.
So Herc
Everything
got good
in the
RNG
game does a
that
ton of
first room.
damage.
Another thing is there's that Zoro going down one of the walls on the left half of the room. If you're to kill it and don't collect the X, it flies over to the other half of the room and spawns a new one on that second platform that Herc would have been jumping past. So you would have to either jump on the platform and jump around it, or you'd have to kill it, which both of which are slower.
A ton of the time saves in And, well, speedruns in general really is learning what enemies you need to kill and which ones are just faster to kill.
Sorry.
You just over time develop a memory for like what room you're in, what you need to do in that specific instance.
Pretty much, just takes practice. Really, any game, as you
They're
said.
going for that swag Zoro kill.
You always go for it.
It's different in 100% because the Zoro is all the way to the right, so you gotta do it in a weird way to get it to work.
But is it worth it?
It's always worth it.
It just looks so cool if you do it right.
Especially if it's running towards you, because you have even a smaller window to kill it with 2 missiles.
See, Foxbot, what he did was he killed one of the Zoros early, or he let that one spawn on the middle right, and normally that doesn't spawn if you're fast enough.
Well, it's just a matter of not killing things beforehand.
So here we have Hurt coming up towards the Zazabi fight. As you can see with the charge beam, if you're close enough to the door when its eye opens, you can kill it in 1 hit when you have the charge beam, thus eliminating the need for double missiling doors anymore.
Hurt grabbing that safety E-tank.
That's one of the E-tanks that is recommended for a lot of beginners to grab because it's not that far out of the way. It doesn't waste you really any more than 1 second of time to go out of your way and collect.
I'm surprised you grabbed it there.
It's one of the faster of the 2 extra E-tanks that you would normally grab.
See if Hurt can get the double. How many jumps was that?
I wasn't counting.
I mean,
So
Hurt
it was a lot though. It looked like
Foxbot's just taking it safe through that room. That room's really hard. And plus, Foxbot has really low health. So, and Zoros do like a ton of damage.
45, yeah.
And my player just froze.
Sick.
Come on.
Zazabi is one of those weird bosses that have a lot of RNG to him. There's RNG in between each time he's crawling left and right before he jumps again. It's RNG how many times he jumps before he floats down and where you can hit him.
The best case scenario is you want it to jump 0 times, then 1, and then 2 times. That is the free jump, and that is a really rare thing to happen.
Dude,
And again,
Hurt
we're
doesn't
counting
even
wasted
stack.
jumps.
Skip.
Wasted jumps wherein he doesn't expose himself.
There's also a trick that called the SAX skip in Sector 2 that's right after the Zazabi fight. Most runners don't go for it except for JRP because he's crazy. And it's a
You can go for it.
high risk, high reward trick to do.
That high reward part of that,
I'll link a video quickly. Ooh, I gained 2 subscribers. Where is it?
There are a couple ways to do it though. Like if you have
There-
enough health, you could just tank damage and make it a little easier.
Right, well, if you have enough health, then that's a low risk, high reward. But if you don't have that much health, if you have less than 4 E-tanks, then the SAX will kill you if it freezes you or if you touch it.
I want to say it does 200 damage for the beam.
200 for the beam, and I think 500 if you touch it. I don't remember exactly.
Also, Foxtrot is getting trolled, or Foxbot is getting trolled rather. Like, have you seen how many jumps this is?
Yeah, he also his missiles
Here it
missed. Like his beam and missiles missed on the first opening as well.
That's
Dang.
the SAX skip. If anyone wants to see it.
Yo, dude, there's a skip in Metroid Fusion.
There are a few. Sort of. They don't really skip sequences, but and they don't skip items.
The
There's some
The
cool
only
tricks.
way that it really skips anything is you're going an unintentional route to the destination.
Yeah.
So Sector 4 is pretty straightforward. RNG is not really a problem until you get to Ceres. And Ceres is just full of RNG.
Somewhat minor though. Not nearly as bad as Sazabin.
The worst thing you can get in Ceres is if you get an unhittable pattern.
Just totally not unhittable, I swear.
Oh, Herc fell down. That's Kirby's job.
My player seems to be a little bit behind. So, if that happened about 3 seconds after you said.
Oh, is he going for my strat or something? Or did he just drop off the ladder early?
Hmm.
So Ceres, as I said before, the charge beam has 3 parts and they all do 26 damage. And Ceres, and if you hit them all at once, it all does 26 damage to Ceres. And Ceres only has 50 health. So when you hit 2 shots, the full charge beam, it kills it instantly.
However, it does move so fast that it's pretty difficult to figure out when and where to shoot it. That takes especially a lot of practice, and a lot of players opt to just pause the game just so they can see where he is and where he's going, so they can react accordingly when they unpause.
There's no shame in pause buffering.
Just don't be Biospark.
And it appears as though
the whole
Herc
fight.
isn't quite ready yet to play the 2016 strats. It's unfortunate.
I'm sad that Herc didn't go backwards through the breeding tank.
Is Herc gonna get it?
Herc did the diagonal strat on the speed blocks, which is about half a second slower, but is more consistent. Actually, it's just a little bit harder than the Shine Spark straight left, right?
But if you're shine sparking straight right, you have to run back and measure your distance properly.
Yeah.
And if you mess that up, then you waste a lot more time than if you were to just do the diagonal.
Alright.
The diagonal is slower?
A little bit, but it's
Yeah,
usually better.
I timed it in a Taz, and it was indeed slower. Because the Taz got to the Morph Ball tunnel way faster.
Ooh, a Red X.
X.
That's
Red
also
X is-
RNG. It's based by frame counter, I believe. It's like a 1 in 1024 chance of happening.
Not only is it like the frame, it has to be in the right position.
Right, it has to be the right frame and the correct enemy slot as well.
Except for the Idors, where the Idor switch always drop Red X.
Right, there are some
Oh.
enemies that are flagged to always drop a Red X no matter what.
Some of the enemies are extremely common Red X, but not 100%. Like some of the special, some of the enemies with a lot of health
Foxbot missed
have
the
a chance.
shot.
Rip.
Have a high chance.
So this will
But
probably
Idors
be
will
a free
always
hit.
drop it.
You can tell if you got the first hit on Ceres because he turns yellow. Like, after he stops. Oh, he looks like he missed the second one.
It looks like he only hit him with a flare on the second one, actually. Which is something that is extremely annoying when you're a first-time runner.
Jago somehow got a 7-hit Ceres or something.
Yeah, I'm really good at this game.
Which I just find unbelievable.
And the more times you fight Ceres, like, it takes a long time to get used to him, but you'll start to notice patterns in, like, what, like, where he'll appear next. Usually, after he flies straight across the platforms, he'll usually jump across 2 of the platforms afterwards. And
Ceres is very predictable once you realize all these patterns.
He only has about 3 patterns, or 6 if you count the mirrored versions of them.
Oh, Herc didn't break the blocks. He pressed down too early,
Rip.
and then he missed the Shine Spark, which he Shine Spark off the shaft, which saves a few seconds.
Herc's losing all the time.
Is he
Fair
going
point.
for it? He's going
think
for it.
He's going for
He's
it.
going for Bob Skip.
Oh my god.
I think
So
technically
this
that's
is the
illegal.
Oh, hang on.
he got it.
Oh,
anyway.
I got it.
So that is the only skippable in the English version missile by going out of bounds. If you were normally when you're playing the game, you have to collect the missile in the morph ball tunnel because you can't pass it otherwise, and there are 2 ways to skip it in the English version and 1 way to skip it in the Japanese version.
Herc's really low on missiles. You probably have
I
to recharge.
I think technically we could disqualify him because he did go out of bounds.
Herc. Gosh.
But technically,
I'm sure
he didn't
he'd be
go out
happy
of
to
bounds.
hear.
Out of
He
bounds
was
is
out
a
of
completely
bounds.
different area.
He was
Herc
definitely
just barely has enough missiles to break the barrier. When you leave Sector 3, you want 3 missiles.
So he has his 3 missiles?
Not currently.
Oh.
Nope. He has 1 missile, so
He has 2 options. He can do the Shine Spark strat or just pick up the missile tank in Sector 6.
while the Shine Spark strat looks so cool, it's slower, so people don't usually go for it. It's also
much slower,
the
like a
backup
second?
strat.
Yeah,
mean,
it's.
He went
I'd
for
recommend
Bob
it.
Skip. I think he's gonna go for swag strats.
Yeah. Which is why I was kind of surprised I didn't see him go backwards in the Cirrus tank.
So going for Bob's skip in any percent with the way it's done now is considerably slower than just getting it. And technically, if you were to do it the old way, wherein you charge a bunch of... Oh no, you only charge one Shine Spark, and then you spark through the barrier above the tank, like coming from another room. That saves... I want to say like 15 in-game seconds, but
That's
it wastes
quite
a
a bit.
ton of real time as well.
Yeah,
It's
That's
not
'cause you
worth
gotta
it.
it's
pause
definitely
a
not
lot.
worth it because it's a nearly frame perfect trick on... No, it's a input perfect trick, I would have to say. Because you have to jump up several platforms almost perfectly, and you have 7 frames of error to make. Otherwise, you lose your Shine Spark and have to go the slow way.
5 frame perfect. I think it was 5 frame perfect jumps and landings. A pixel perfect jump and a pixel perfect shine spark. Pixel frame perfect.
Sick.
It's really dumb. Yeah, Herc's going for the shine spark strat.
And you could miss
He's
some of
bombed the wall
them,
too.
but like you can only lose like 6 frames and still get it, so it's definitely not worth it with that many inputs to do.
Like, even with pause buffering, you can pause buffer, like, when you pause buffer and frames don't advance, it actually does waste the shine spark timer. So that counts as
It does?
Yeah, it counts as a 1 frame. That's why I would fail it a lot.
I didn't know that.
Like, I'll get 5 frame perfect jumps and landings, and then I would still fail it.
Yeah, the pause buffering in this game is a little different because you actually have to... You can't hold start for it to just pause and unpause. You actually have to press it on and off, and if you pause too soon after it unpauses, you just advance the end-game timer by a frame, and then you don't do any inputs.
Hey, Sax. What's the saxophone's favorite instrument?
A flute.
I don't know. Tell me.
You don't have a punchline, dude.
I just wake up, I'm too tired.
Joke maker of the year.
This is an interesting missile tank
he's,
Foxbot's going for.
Vegarex.
It's really
Vegarex
out of the
is
way.
pretty straightforward. Just jump into it and shoot it, and it should die very quickly. Foxbot is having trouble with box.
I could somewhat understand using the recharge station, but even if you're going to get that, I think the missile is just too far out of the way to bother going for.
So, if you miss a lot of shots in box, it becomes a really long fight. Otherwise, the fight's 10 seconds long. So now, Herc has the barrier suit, which is also called the mustard suit, because the color palette is so bad.
Do you like mustard, JRP?
Not really. I'll put like sweet chili sauce and that's about it.
I like a little bit of mustard. It's pretty good.
So exiting Sector 6, is a bit tricky because the puffers can be in random spots, and they tend to push you down and make you lose time. But
Like
Herc
the
seems to
man.
be doing fine.
This is a pretty interesting energy tank to go for as well. So
The missile
it
tank.
probably would have been faster to get from the top route. Who did that yesterday? Was that Polesmore? Someone had in yesterday's races. And it's not too far out of the way to get, unless you go at it from the bottom, and I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be worth it. Although I don't know, the enemies in this game do a lot of damage. So
This game is
Yeah.
extremely difficult and low percent because you only have 99 health and either 10 or 15 missiles depending on which version of it you play. And just about everything will kill you in 2, 2 or 1 hits.
That elevator sync though was so good.
yeah, almost everything does more than 40 damage. Several things do 80 damage.
Right.
There's one enemy that can do 137 with one attack.
So Foxbot is entering Sector 6 again. He should be fine. He's got 40 tanks.
And he'll have a 5th on the way out.
So we talked about this yesterday in Sector 5. There is just an old player we made fun of for getting mixed up in routes. And you go unlock the level 3 security doors, and then go back to the beginning of the sector and try to leave. And the door would be locked on him because he forgot to grab the diffusion missiles.
The ice
that he
missiles.
Ice
needed
missiles.
the ice missiles, yes. Then he needed to open the door to get in the first place.
Pulling the secret key is the best.
Which in modern routes isn't a common thing because
It's typically
the ice missiles
seen...
would wind up being in your path in 2016 strats. That's correct, right? I'm pretty sure. We'll see if Herc is sharpened up on his practice.
We'll find out. Ooh, there's one. Is he gonna make it? Oh, he didn't make it. Oh, he should
It
have.
starts out with a frame perfect trick to like when you're running off a ledge with speed booster. As soon as you land, you have exactly 1 frame to charge and store a shine spark. And after, like, if you succeed at that, then you have a really tight window to maintain it throughout the entire
you
lower
have
portion of the sector, and
about
spark all the way
2.5
back up to the
rooms
exit.
where you can only recharge it once. The trick you're trying to see him do is called the reverse ice missile trick, where you go backwards and save 1 second of in-game time just to get the ice missiles. But as you can see, when you fail it, you end up losing 14 to 15 seconds.
I think it was more than that.
if you miss the frame perfect charge, it's a 15-second loss. But if you get that charge but miss the final spark, it's considerably more, unfortunately. And that whole adventure would save about a second.
It seems we've lost one of our commentators.
Q-bot is gone, dude. Rest in peace. So, by law, everyone has to spam emergency in Frank Z when we get to Meltdown. So everyone has to start spamming it.
Emergency in Sector 3.
Everyone has to spam that. It is the law.
Come on, guys. I want to see Twitch chat go crazy.
In Sector 3.
Emergency in Frank Z.
There's hardly any of them here. Come on, guys. You can do this.
Emergency.
We need
in
to start
Frank Z.
spamming that. Emergency in Franker Z. There we go. Now we've got something.
Minute to main boiler explosion.
So, Meltdown is a segment where you have to go to the main boiler and cool it down before it blows everything up. Why does a space station need one?
The boiler or the
Yeah.
explosives? Well, the boiler would keep things warm, and the explosive would keep things really, really warm, and also very far apart from each other.
Typically, we aim for like 430s around there. But
Which
like,
is,
there's some factors like you need to play really well in some rooms.
Back in my day, it used to be harder, and then people figured out better strats.
Right, so missile management is pretty important if you don't grab any extras along the way, because they're very useful for freezing a lot of the fire enemies, where some of them spit fireballs at you, or some of them drop extra projectiles from the ceiling that may hit you and slow you down.
And if you kill all the ones on the ground, there's a chance they may have already left a flame just sitting there. They have to jump over or just not see and run into, as the case may be.
Is it me or do I hear a siren going off?
It's an emergency.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So like one of the factors of like good meltdowns, to get good meltdowns is the idle. 4 beams is 3 to 4 beams is like 8 to 10 second time lost.
Oh, he didn't get the double-double.
Oh well.
Yeah, that's one of the new strats that were implemented, or kind of recently discovered that you could actually do around 2013, 2014. For the longest time, like since 2005, we knew that you could hit cores with 2 missiles at once, but we didn't bother going for that trick on the I cores because they have such a smaller hitbox that we figured it wasn't viable in real time. And then people started trying it and realized, well, there's no point in not going for it. And then we started figuring out more reliable ways, such as jumping or wall jumping above them and getting some vertical speed and shooting directly down. Or kind of luring it, just going to the side of it and shooting down at it. And with various techniques, we found more and more ways to make I-core doubles reliable.
Another thing you may have just noticed Herc took damage while on the ladder and he didn't fall back down into the lava. If you take damage while holding onto a ceiling ladder and
Oh,
you
Herc
keep
got the
holding
strat.
up
Nice.
on the ladder, you'll grab back onto it before you fall down. So
Herc-
you don't have to fall into the lava.
Herc just did what we call this. I think that's the climb there. That climb is considerably difficult because it will sometimes you get randomly shot at, you fall down. And if you fall down, that's like huge time loss.
You won't fall too far down if you get good. Now that I saved the Frankers, time to save some more memorable characters from Samus's past.
A lot of SM runners might get mad about what Herc's about to do. But in this game you don't have a choice.
I wonder if Herc's gonna do the impossible strat or the easy strat. The impossible strat is where you wall jump off the single wall and climb up the stretches, which is
Yeah, which
considerably
I find a
difficult.
lot easier than the easy strat. And faster,
Right.
for sure.
It is definitely faster and it looks a lot cooler too.
It only saves a second though.
Oh, he didn't get it.
But you didn't grab the ledge. The trick is to grab that ledge, you want to wall jump as late as possible, like at your peak of your jump. And then you want to do a jump extend as late as possible. And jump extend is when you shoot out of a spin jump. That resets your vertical speed, but you gain some
That was actually
horizontal
kind of fast.
movement. It's also random how fast the animals come out.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the faster ones that I've seen.
The best you can get is when they all come out instantly. Otherwise they can waste like 15 seconds just not doing anything.
Foxbot's dealing with the emergency in Frankers. I'll be
Oh yeah guys, why aren't you
interested in
spamming
how he
emergency in
deals with this.
Franker-Z? There's another emergency in Franker-Z. You need to
It
start
sounds like
spamming
the
chat.
emergency vehicles are busy with the last emergency.
He's making pretty
Yeah,
good
this-
time though.
This section can be kind of nerve-wracking just psychologically because of the flashing red lights. It feels a lot more intense. And the
Yeah.
timer running down, it's not super difficult, but some runners struggle a bit more than usual, more than they need to with it.
It also plays a part that you're required to do a boss fight while the timer is counting down, pretty much. It's not a super hard boss fight by any means, but it is still a boss fight nonetheless.
I
Is her
appreciate
stream
that it is
okay?
not. It's supposed
It's-
to be,
it's
having
going.
some struggles. I like that Foxbot seems to be focused on just like getting through the rooms and kind of ignoring enemies, and that's a decent approach. Like he doesn't seem to know like totally exactly the ways to move through it, but He's making do for sure. He's doing a really good job of
Indeed,
improvising.
indeed he is.
Is Pulse
And
more
he,
rage hit?
Yes. But we're not talking about him right now. We're talking about Herc and Foxbot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
Anyway.
does
Shine
use
Spark is glorious.
That Shine Spark's really nice. There's a faster way you can do that where you get a Shine Spark and you store a Shine Spark, a frame perfect Shine Spark when you run off the ledge. But it's considerably harder. But it saves a few seconds, but it's not worth it. It's whatever you're comfortable with, but that strat is just really hard. Now Herc's got power bombs, which don't get much love in this category.
I love the
And-
Italian name for the power bombs.
What is it?
Gigabomba.
Gigabomb.
Pretty good.
Herc's got the Gigabomb and he's gonna use
Oh,
it
I
now.
think he might be a little short on his power bomb. Oh, actually not.
That was
Okay.
in Mega Man X2, right?
The Gigabomb. I'm just gonna call it that. Herc's gonna use the Gigabomb. I wonder what strat Herc's gonna use in this room. Oh, he's just going for the normal strat. You can lay a power bomb in that room and quickly freeze that guy on the left, and wall jump on the left wall all the way up to the top.
Wasn't that a strat found by Kadoom?
Yeah, it was. Rest in peace, Kadoom. You need to come back and play.
Yeah, I miss that guy. He tweeted me yesterday.
Really?
Or
It must
was
have been
today?
lovely.
I think today. For getting sniped out of the air. It's unfortunate.
Sometimes this game. Go ahead.
This can be a really tricky and low percent runs without energy tanks, where you gotta go through a bunch of enemies, and you have to get a speed going. But since there are a bunch of enemies in your way, it's you gotta clear them out, and then there are enemies on the ceiling that spit down on like.
Where's Herc going?
That do 80
I don't
damage.
know.
He's
Herc.
trying to save Ranker Z. It looks like.
Herc, where are you going? That's the wrong elevator.
Odin
I
must have
think he
distracted him.
just screwed up. I think he forgot where he was going.
I think, I bet he's, laughing at himself right now. Yeah,
Laughing is one verb he might be using.
preferably the verb that we'd want him to use.
Hi, Ridley. Bye, Ridley.
So the spit from these things, like in the ceiling, do 80 damage.
Oh, was it that much?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So even in an 80%, it's
Ooh, I don't think Herc broke the
if you're low
powerbomb
on
blocks.
health, you wanna. It doesn't look like it.
There's a way to consistently break the blocks. What you do is you land on the platform, then lay the power bomb, and then you shoot 2 missiles at the wall, then start running.
It's a little rain dance, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. That,
I always
animal
just do that.
RNG was kind of bad. That's not too great.
Who's barking?
Oh, my dog is barking.
Oh my dog.
Yeah. And it's also my dog. It sounds like Kobe.
Oh my Kobe.
So these are the the space pirates that magically got stronger and more resistant to stronger missiles. Whereas it took one regular missile to kill them before, it takes 2 ice missiles, or 3 ice missiles to kill them now. I don't see the logic behind that.
So, coming up is Yakuza. He's the best boss in the game. You'll probably see why. Basically, you want him to open his mouth, but sometimes he will go around the room 0 to 4 times. No, 1 to 4 times, sorry. Before he will open his mouth. And if he does it in 4 rounds, that's like a lot of time loss.
It's essentially the worst luck you can get if you're playing perfectly.
Well, there's a new potential strategy there also found that it hasn't been
It's still a work in
completely
progress.
Herc got the 4 round.
Like there's an exploit you could do where apparently during the animation where it's closing its mouth, you could do enough damage where it would go to the second phase, but it'll prolong that until the next time it closes its mouth, because it only checks if you've done enough damage to advance phases if like as soon as the animation starts where he closes his mouth. And by abusing this, exploiting this, you might be able to pump in enough damage to finish it off for the second phase, because as soon as the phase starts, its health resets.
Right, the second phase will reset its health to 500 no matter what. It was 500, right?
Yeah.
So starts with
Starts at
1,000 and
1,000. 500 starts the
again
second
with
phase,
100.
and it resets it back to 500. Like, doesn't matter what you do, you will always stay at 500 on the second phase.
And now we're coming to a part of the game that made me stop playing for a week in my childhood.
Let's see if
The
he
part
does
where you have to
the quick
encounter-
strat, which is where you lay a
Run
bomb
the
straight
sides.
away and jump over it. And use that bomb for it.
I'm not convinced that that's faster. Maybe it's a few frames faster.
Oh, now he's just showing off. Right, so some people
really
don't know
goofy,
that some people don't know that of those 4 blocks, only the top one is a missile block. All you have to do is shoot the top one with a missile, and then shoot the rest of it with your beam. It's so much faster than just shooting all 4 of them with missiles.
A lot safer too.
Indeed.
You don't have to keep jumping to shoot missiles anymore, because you can spam the beam more quickly. And the AI for the SAX has quite a few goofy moments.
The SAX, like, AI is just, it's pretty dumb. When it
It's
doesn't
wicked
know where you
smart
are.
and wicked dumb at the same time.
Like, one smartest thing I've ever seen it done is I'm grabbing the ledge, then it shoots a super at a wall so I fall off the ledge. That's one of the
Nope.
smartest things it does.
So Notori is it's pretty much the reason you grab as many missile tanks as you do. We talked about earlier how missiles are kind of not very useful in early game, but they're very important to have throughout, especially this part of the game. Currently ice missiles do 40 damage, and they go up to 45 when you get diffusion. And the wide beam, if all 3 parts of it hit, it's divided into 3 parts from the charge when it's charged up by itself, and it also has a flare damage that we don't really use very much. But if you hit it with all 3 parts of the charge, it'll do 45 damage. So it's just barely more powerful than a missile, but you could shoot missiles a lot faster. So we get a lot of missiles, just kind of as a trade-off for how long it takes to to beat Notori versus how long it takes to pick up the missiles. And Kirby Master typed up, well, he went and timed all of the nearest missile tanks that are worth getting.
Basically, all the missile tanks you get are basically in your way, and they're very quick to get.
Within like half a room away, basically. So you could kill an Notori faster with more missiles, but you would lose too much time going to get more missiles.
The
So you
minimal you can get
compromise.
before you start losing time, I think, was 35. Like, after any lower, and you just start losing lots of time. Those links are broken, Nightbot, from Nightbot.
Oh yeah, they are now, aren't they?
I wonder if Feasel was aware.
Oh wait, no, they're not. I clicked on it and it opened right up. Did they fix it?
It's giving me that page where like the domain is not in use.
Maybe I have a caching error.
Maybe. I'll see if Feasel's around and just tell him now.
I opened it up in a
Herc's going for it.
Oh no, he's
he
going
didn't get
for the space boost. So what that saves about like 5 seconds, but like what makes it so difficult is the way that you have normal doors and then doors that have instant transitions. Doors like that will always put you on the ground. So if you are in the air when you jump in them, it will put you on the ground. But if you jump like a few frames before you enter it, it won't put you on the ground. It will start making you jump. But that's what makes the trick so hard. You basically
You basically already have to be jumping and holding A going through the door, or else you're gonna hit the ground. And here we have the nightmare fight. One of the hardest bosses for casual players and speedrunners alike. I guess they got the domain back. People in chat say that the links are working.
Right, so Nightmare has 3 phases. The first phase is when it starts, and you normally end that phase in less than a second. And the second phase is the gravity phase, is where you gotta shoot the thing underneath it to kill it to start the third phase. In the third phase, the face just comes off.
I think the links are actually working again, because it seemed to work for me. I did it in incognito, so it was working for me as well.
The third phase, you have to manipulate it to where you want it to be, and that can be pretty difficult, because how Nightmare works is, the way he moves is, Nightmare has no RNG. There's no RNG to what he does. That's why he's such a consistent fight. Basically, there's an invisible object that moves, and it always moves the same way, like every time. So what it does is it follows you, and then it follows the object. And by manipulating that, you can stop it to the sweet spot. It's basically an area where the boss will go to die. So if you make it move towards that area, it will die faster. Start the correct fight. But it's pretty tricky. Who did we lose?
We lost Jagger.
Uh-oh.
I saw him mute his mic a little bit ago, so maybe he has something to do real quick.
I'll say one more thing about that. The link. That's the link the Nightbot sent. I don't know why it's not working.
That's not the link Nightbot sent.
It is.
That one in particular is not.
I don't know then. It's just all weird.
Welcome back.
Alright, so lower sector 4, you have Herc's already unlocked the level 4 doors. So people always say the game tells you what to do. But my favorite part is in lower sector 4 and people go complain that they soft lock because they become so dependent on the computer. Like this is the only area in the game the computer doesn't tell you to go. It just tells you to go back to the nav room. Herc froze the puffer too early thing. I don't know what it's called.
I think it's just pufferfish. Here we see Foxbot taking the safer strats against SAX during the chase scene.
So, with what Herc did, normally you're supposed to run back and break a few speed blocks, but you can just space boost through that barrier and it destroys it. And that saves a bit of time, that saves a lot of backtracking. There's another way you can do it where you can store a Shine Spark, but that's considerably slower.
Herc's going for easy secret message. The only reason so the main difference between this game and the Japanese version in terms of maps is this room right here. They changed the layout of the room and moved the pufferfish so that you cannot do an easy secret message. That's the only thing, and the only reason this works is because missiles curve with your movement.
Oh
So-
no, Foxbot did the infamous wind spark.
Oh no!
Shine sparking the wrong way. And it's even worse in that particular room because you go back like 15 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, shine sparking everywhere is not the fastest way, like, unlike in Super Metroid, shine sparking is a lot faster. But in this game, you don't move as fast while shine sparking, it's just sometimes faster to not shine spark small distances.
It is technically the fastest form of movement, but it's not that much faster to warrant the whole sequence of setting up a shine spark and like initiating a shine spark, which is about a half-second delay, and then the bonk at the end of the shine spark as well.
So, if Foxbot's standard a little bit more to the right, the left, the top left guy won't shoot at you for some reason. The tutorial is just pretty straightforward. Just spam just do timed charged missile and power bomb shots. But yeah, it's a pretty easy fight.
So he's struggling a little bit on the core to not get hit. One trick I like to do with the eye cores, like if I'm in close quarters and I can't really run far away from it, I'll just as soon as it gets close to me, as it's opening its eye, I'll jump straight up and shoot a missile straight down. So it'll look up at me and get hit by the missile and shoot diagonally, and then I'll just like hold left or right to go over it as it's shooting. And it's a pretty reliable way to dodge it.
The worst is
Alternatively,
when
you could stand further back.
the missile hits the eye and just doesn't do damage.
Yeah.
It's like the hitboxes are just on their eye corrects are just amazingly bad.
It's weird. I might have had that problem once, but I've almost never had that problem.
I don't know if anyone else noticed, but Foxbot actually got a damage boost out of his Shine Spark. He didn't get the frame perfect trick when he entered the room, but he kind of did it in a second later.
Without authorization.
So Herc's now gonna fight Box 2.
I like to
which
call him
is
the Xbox.
Xbox. Yeah,
Warning. No entry without
he's a lot stronger than the first fight, but he's still very easy. The issue is if you don't do the fight right though, he will do like the first attacks it does is predictable. Like he will always do the same thing. He will jump right and then jump left. But if you miss the missiles, he'll jump right and then jump right again. It makes no sense.
Have you, did you cover the beam damage already?
No, not yet.
Okay, so like the box 2, you may recall he just picked up plasma beam earlier from Notori, and that the plasma beam does damage per frame, per part that's that's touching the sprite. But the problem with using that against box is that the its legs and stuff kind of they cancel out the beam. So as soon as it makes contact, it's just done. So you can damage it for part of the beam for like 1, maybe 2 frames. So we use missiles on it instead, and let's see, he has ice diffusion. He has diffusion missiles at this point, so it does 45 damage, as opposed to I forget what it is with the
60 seconds.
plasma beam.
So
like
for some
6
reason for
per-
that room that Herc's in, if you jump through the door, the Metroids are in the straight line. And there's no reason to explain it. It just only happens when you jump through the door.
Another
Well, I guess
really oh, go ahead.
But I guess the upside is it gives you more consistent patterns when you go up.
And Foxbot's coming up on Nightmare, and that that detail of the beam doing damage per frame comes into play again here, because you can shoot its face with the charge beam, but it'll only damage it for 1 frame as well, so it's technically actually less damage than the Y beam would have been.
But overall,
so-
does a lot more damage.
Yeah, to everything else, everything that doesn't just cancel the beam immediately, it'll do a ton of
The
a
game
lot more
runs at
damage.
60 frames a second. So it would be inside the enemy for a long time. Rick got the fast strat, which is if you do that room fast enough, the rippers might hit you when you fall down.
Yeah, you can see how well Foxbot handled Nightmare with using primarily missiles instead of the upgraded beam.
So there's the missile blocks, but and the fusion missile, like the ice particles do break missile blocks. But those missile blocks work weird. If you went into that room moving and then shot your diffusion missile, it would only break the left and right blocks, but not the middle block. Also, those gold pirates, like, have the best programming in the world. Like, you're intended to shoot their back, and how the game checks that is it checks if you and the pirate are facing each other.
Facing the same direction.
You're facing each other, yeah. So, if you shoot at them and turn around, the game will think, oh, you're behind them, damage it. Like, that's pretty solid logic right there.
Basically, what is supposed to be a very or a difficult late game kind of enemy turns into one of the easiest things to kill because of a logic error.
You can kill him in like 5 seconds, it's really dumb. Is that double?
I didn't see.
So, I don't think I've explained that doubles is where 2 missiles hit on the same frame. And when they do that, it deals double damage. And with the Corex, it skips around because you're not supposed to be able to hit it 2 times at once. But doing the double, hitting it at the same time, the 2 missiles, skips around. So the Corex, say you have to kill it in 6 hits, but if you get like 3 doubles, it dies in 3 rounds. So you skip 3 rounds, which is like a lot of time saved.
Yeah, each period of invincibility is 2.5, 3 seconds.
Something like that. And so now Herc has the pretty much every upgrade in the game except for 1. So you can pretty much run around and do whatever you want and kill just about anything just by looking at it the wrong way.
So there is a slight possibility Herc can still... there's a glitch in the SJX fight that if you damage it, if you kill it while it's turning, which interrupts the death animation, it will be dead, but
It will
still
have
think it's alive. So
it will have 0 HP, but it will no longer enter the death animation and will no longer be vulnerable to your beam.
So basically, and you have to kill it to progress. So it's basically a soft lock. There's another cool thing you can do with the SX fight. You can make it jump out of bounds, and it will jump so far out of bounds that it will wrap around and jump back in bounds.
And this is, of course, the longest stop for dialogue in the game.
I think it's like 3 minutes. On Japanese, it's like nearly 2 minutes. It's really fast on Japanese.
It's still pretty long, and most people will refer to this section of the game as the story dump because
Hey,
they
look,
dump
Samus
a
is
bunch of
talking.
story on you.
Samus talks in this game, guys.
So you could hold A during this text to make it go slightly faster, but it's really difficult to tell if it is. I'm not sure if he's holding it or not. I think he is.
When I press A, I don't really see a difference.
I think he was mashing it.
So Foxbot's going to Sector 6, the last sector you go to before you get screw attack and go to endgame. So, what was I gonna say? I don't know.
Something about tacos, I think.
Yeah, tacos are delicious.
Yeah. What's your favorite taco?
Anything that's on the taco.
Got some good fish tacos here in California.
So, Herc's going up these elevators, right, to go to the main deck. In 100%, you used to go up these elevators when you did the cleanup route clockwise, but it turns out they found out doing cleanup anti-clockwise was like a minute faster or something, and it skips 2 elevator rides. So you don't see that elevator ride in 100% anymore.
So there's a fast way to do the SAX, the first phase of the SAX fight, and it involves keeping it frozen the entire time, and it's pretty difficult to time. It's one of the harder things for
Herc's
new
going for that
players to
safety
get used
scene.
to.
He knows he's gonna
Oh, yeah.
soft lock. So
Well-
the SX normally takes, I think, 20 shots normally, but you can kill it in 4 or 5.
Just because of the power of the plasma beam and the wave beam.
So
Just piercing
S-
through enemies.
SAX normally it only damages it for 1 frame, but if you freeze it, it damages it for every frame. So what we do is we continuously freeze it and shoot a charge shot at it, and that will basically stun lock it.
It's a really awkward button combination to get used to. It's like half of why it's difficult for new players to learn, but mostly you have to time it really well to charge only as long as you have to like release your charge beam as soon as it's full.
The hardest
So you
part
need
of
some
the trick
visual
is
cues.
not triggering your missiles before you shoot the beam.
So Herc didn't get the soft lock. I'm disappointed.
I think he saved for the Omega Metroid shenanigans potentially.
So he's going for the doubles on the ice corrects. They were originally thought to be nearly impossible, but I figured out a way to make him really consistent. And now everyone does it. Like you have a lot of leeway when you can fire your missiles.
Yeah, it does 100 damage with the beam, by the way, if it hits you. So, however, it won't hit you. It won't be able to hit you at all if you're screw attacking. So, like, as soon as you shoot, you wanna press A to spin again.
Surprisingly, doing the doubles is a lot safer than not doing them, because when you do the doubles, you get hit by the corrects before you get hit by the ice beam, so you don't take much damage from it, which is a really nice
Usually.
trade-off. You don't take a lot of damage.
If you do it right, I suppose.
Like when I fight the corrects, I rarely lose. I only lose like 80 energy or something. Ooh, Herc got that nice diagonal strat, which is a really hard combination of pressing left and right. You have to time them really well. Yeah, Herc just has one more trick to get.
He didn't get it.
Surprisingly, falling down is a pretty difficult thing to do in this escape.
Right. There's a trick that's called the low height shine spark, where basically, if you shine spark at the exactly 0 pixels off the ground before you land, you will be flying while touching the ground while still in the air.
Almost touching it.
You're not in.
main,
Go on.
the main thing that the reason that benefits you is that later on, like halfway through at the end of the tunnel is a low-hanging ceiling that
Okay,
you
guys.
end up clearing if you're exactly pixel
Don't
perfect.
blink.
So it's very important that you're able to see the beam piercing all the way through its body. If you
Mind if I hang out here?
Herc's
hey,
Well, we did lose one of our
Good work.
commentators.
done. Herc, you didn't dot done.
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
Well, if you
so
wanna
how's your
hang out.
race going?
Just hang out.
Herc, I really love the route change you did going down the Sector 3 elevator.
Thanks, man. I love it too. It was great, wasn't it?
Always
Alright, I
gotta
think that's good.
check in on your Frankersies. Alright.
Holy. Okay, so English PV splits.
50 seconds.
I was exactly 5 minutes behind. Plus 50000.
You did that on purpose.
I totally did that on purpose.
To impact.
That is like how I failed every single trick that I went for. Reverse ice. I forgot to do Sarah's tank backwards.
Ah,
Oh,
so
you
you
were
were
gonna
gonna
go for that?
I was gonna go for that. I just completely forgot to do it by accident. I was
Dang.
gonna go for every little thing because I knew I would have the time, but
Yeah, I was
even hung
actually
Good
wondering
practice.
why you didn't go for it.
I just it slipped my mind, and by the time I looked and I was at the pump station, I was like, whatever. Yeah, no, I kind of wasted a lot of time in this run because I knew I had the extra time to kill. Yay!
Foxbot's about to fight Ridley. Ridley
Oh, I
is
thought
the
you were about
most
to say dot
insultingly
dot.
easy boss in this game, except in low percent.
Yeah, so this is the first boss where you
Wait.
get to abuse heavily the power of the piercing beam.
The most common mistake I see people do is use missiles on Ridley, and missiles do nothing to him. The
Do
charge
45
charge
damage
beam will
versus
just
around
destroy him.
400 to 500 for the beam. So yeah, you really want to use
Right.
full
It's
charge.
especially diagonally because it stays inside of Ridley the longest.
Yep.
Also, when he's moving upwards as well, it'll cause him to stay in the beam for even just a split second longer, which is enough to kill him super fast.
Herc, you
It's
gonna
always
shout out back?
it's tricky when you're first learning though, because like you would like to do it diagonally, but in a lot of cases, trying to go for diagonal shots will wind up getting canceled out by his tail. For some reason, his tail is super powerful and just negates like all
It
attempts
always has
to beat
been.
him. It's a huge foil. So a lot of new players especially will opt to go for vertical shots. They're a lot easier to connect with, a lot more reliable.
Foxbot's making his way to end game. So I don't get it. You get screw attack and then you just go to the end. So you cannot get all the items unless you have screw attack. So
You can get a lot of the missiles though, surprisingly.
you can get a lot of items before
Like,
you can
over
get power bomb
200
tanks
missiles, I
before
think.
power bombs.
Those are super
But
hard tricks,
But
though.
sadly, they don't actually give you the power bomb ability because that's a event flag. I think there was 106 event flags, and they change your inventory. So you have to have the event flag set to power bomb to have power bombs enabled.
So Herc, how are you feeling about the rest of the tournament?
Herc?
Is he still around?
He
He
probably went to
the
go take a
bathroom or
break.
Oh, I know what he's doing.
And the screw attack is extra powerful in this game as well. It pretty much makes you invincible to almost everything.
By this point in the game, nothing will ever stop you. You're just overpowered. Like, out of all the Metroid games, Fusion's upgrades are just the most overpowered thing ever.
It's also
just
the one that gives
invincible.
you. It's also the one that gives you the
Sorry.
most power bombs because, like, who on Earth would ever need to have 72
Oh,
power
yes.
bombs?
74.
74.
74, excuse me.
I wonder
Like
what
that
in-game
in-game
time.
Hey, welcome
Best
back.
in-game time I've ever had.
52.
I wasted 5 whole minutes just going for every little like cool trick in the game, and I got a 52.
So how you hoping to do in the rest of the tournament?
You know, I didn't see you go for Pogo.
Me? You know,
Pogo, that's
I'm
what
actually
you
gonna
need to
I'd rather hold all questions until the end because I'm not gonna be answering any of them.
do. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have somebody else,
Foxbot's at,
my agent, talk for me.
Magic Text Land. So We've got time
Oh,
to chill.
sweet. Dude,
Yeah, it
I
kinda
was
goes
chilling
without-
in Sector 2. Sack's jumping over me.
Yeah. It goes without saying that anything he says can and will be held against him, so we've had that agreement from the beginning.
Oh hey, the links work for me now.
Yeah, I told you they fixed it a while back.
Also, I got really, like, I'm used to talking to people while I'm running, so I got really lonely after a while, and I just got really bored. And I was like, after a while of going for all these tricks, I was like, alright, I really need to finish this run, like, now. Like, I'm getting a little... sitting here for quiet for too long.
Who is
Lancy.
Adam? Friend of mine.
Who's Adam? Well, I named you Adam like an hour ago. You don't remember? Oh, I never told you. Never mind. So
My
I'm
favorite
pretty
line in that
interested
dialogue
in,
is just fools.
Fools!
Fools.
That's how you
Oh,
know
you
that you're a
fools.
Disney villain.
Oh, that's how you know you're Gandalf.
I'm
Alright,
interested
here
in
we go.
how we'll handle
He's
the
out
final
of the
bosses.
text box. He's
Bosses?
going
Final
to
bosses.
SAX. He will probably do the casual strat for SAX, which is just charge shots.
A lot safer, a lot easier. A lot
It's
longer
a lot safer
though.
if you
so-
know what you're doing. If
It
you
can be
don't know what you're
tricky
doing-
because of SAX has two different screw attack patterns that she can do when you're going for casual strats.
Mhm.
She'll either do a high arc jump or a low horizontal jump,
Doesn't make any
and that's
sense.
entirely dependent on how close
I think it's
to
random.
a wall you are, I believe.
It's been random for me, at least. Like, I used to do that a really long time ago before I learned the freezing strat from Bios Park.
The freezing strat
used to be what
takes
I
a bit.
recommended in... Well, that's generally what I recommend for new low percent players. Like, if they just want to challenge themselves. Not necessarily go for speedruns.
He's going for pops.
The ice missile and charge beam strat is hard at first, but it's not that bad. It's really easy.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta not fire too early, because if it jumps
Honestly-
down, you're just really done.
You
Honestly,
can fire
if you
too.
wanna
You can fire
practice-
missiles too early.
If you want to practice the charge shot ice missile strat, the best thing to do is to go to an empty room and just practice firing ice missiles directly after wave beam shots. I mean, it seems like tedious at first, but I mean, it's better to build muscle memory that way and get more practice at it than when you have something firing at you and killing you every like 5 seconds.
It is good to learn this casual strat though, just as a backup if you fail to freeze it once, and you can easily lose control of the fight.
Right.
And
Although it is
alternative
possible
strat,
It is still possible to do the diagonal strat if you were to have it on the ground. It's just a little more difficult because you don't have the spacing in between the platforms to help guide you to how far away you need to be.
An alternative strat is you can just freeze it and shoot horizontally, but it takes more shots because when you shoot it diagonally, it's in the hitbox longer.
So we were
That's not
recommending
that
on
hard.
Ridley that you go for diagonal shots, but in the case of the second phase of the SAX, you'll wind up with the beam in its hitbox longer if you shoot straight up while it's jumping. That way it's kind of jumping alongside your beam the entire time. Well, not the
Yeah.
entire time, but for like half a second or so. That's
The point being that it's in
Dozens
the
of frames.
it's in the beam longer, so therefore it takes much more damage.
All the frames.
Herc,
Also-
I'm disappointed you didn't do up strat.
I don't care if you're disappointed, honestly. I actually thought I soft locked at Sax for a second because I had it knocked me off the platform, and it
Yeah, I
wasn't,
noticed
like,
that too.
dying.
I was wondering the
And I
same
hit it.
thing.
I hit it a couple times. The second time I hit it, I was very scared that I had soft locked.
It's a good thing you saved beforehand, just in case.
Yeah. Man, oh man. So, I hear we're doing an interview, I think.
I'm terrible with interviews. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, cool. I'm not even gonna... my answers are gonna be through someone else, so...
Okay.
Actually,
Who's
let me
going
go
to be
get
your
that someone
proxy?
else, like... let me go get that
Awesome.
someone else, like, right now, actually.
So, with Omega, if you jump behind it before its first roar, you will actually just start jumping up and down really fast for no reason.
Damn it, I knew I forgot to do something.
It is
Was he
such
not
a
around or
neat
something?
trick.
Destination.
You can also when you stun lock it or when you shoot it enough, it walks backwards. But if you shoot it just before the shot that makes it walk backwards, and then shoot it while it's in the air, it will walk backwards in the air and it will be hovering. So Foxbot has won the game.
He's won the battle but lost the war. Give me a sec.
Well, he's going down to loser's bracket, so it's only one battle technically. He can keep playing at least one more round. Is he in Discord?
I don't see him in here.
Just hope Foxbot
Oh, yeah, he
doesn't use fast forward during the credits.
Oh,
Can't really
speaking
do
of
that.
speaking of things that get you disqualified, Herc, you nearly went out of bounds.
Cool.
Well, I technically did.
Christ.
It's actually you go past the left edge of the screen for that trick.
Right.
I mean,
I don't
Technically,
even
out
know
of
if I am.
bounds is the area that's not on screen. Like, that's out of bounds.
Pretty much.
I'm pretty
Anything
sure
that's
So
not
we'll let
in
it.
bounds,
So
out
we'll
of
let
bounds.
that slide.
If you're not in control,
I thought we did remove that rule because
what,
we
out
didn't
of bounds
think
rule?
anyone would do. Yeah, because we didn't think it was really useful.
It's not. It's been removed.
Okay.
That's why I did it.
Okay.
That's why I went for Bob Skip. I failed it though because I laid the bomb way too
That's because
far
you're
to the left.
bad.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I mean, you got a
I'm-
52 for Christ's sake.
I mean, which one of us runs 0%?
Me.
Yeah.
All
All right.
Oh, wait. Oh no, I don't actively run it.
What time is it?
I can't say that yet.
You know, you think
Mikey, you're a
JRP would
fucking
learn
computer.
what a mute button looks like?
I
What is
forgot.
wrong
I'm
with you?
sorry.
So, Herc, who's your interview proxy?
I think he's still working on wrangling him.
I guess so.
Heck, do you ever save file at Omega?
Hey. So, Odin, how do you feel about this latest run? Oh, I guess my dog's taking over commentary now. Or,
Oh, I get
taking
it.
over the interview.
So that's who he's getting for his interview proxy.
Absolutely. Best interview proxy ever. Though, running out of treats. He's only sitting here because I've been giving him treats. Yeah, I said treats. You gonna tilt your head some more? Treats. My dog is super adorable. His head is like cocked at about 60-degree angle right now. Just he keeps turning his head like inquisitive dogs do. It's adorable. Next question.
What are your feelings on the emergency and Frinker Z incident?
Speak. Come on. Speak. Odin, what are you doing? Ow, stop scratching me. Eric, what are you... Stop like messing with my hand. What are you doing? Oh boy. I'm like holding it out for him,
Never
and
thought
like
of it
he's
that
just
way.
like climbing up on me. That's all I got. Want to speak? Go for it. Now he's confused.
Certainly the most interesting interview I've done.
Why? I don't have anything. Here, I'll give you a crack. How about that? Take a pop. Enjoy saltine.
Well, good work, Odin. Let's see you next mission.
Hey Herc, just so you know, you unpaused your timer.
Yeah, that was my dog. Odin decided to hit the space bar or something. Or whatever that button is for unsplit. I don't think it matters anyway. I didn't PB. I
It's
should
no
not have said
longer
those
exactly
letters.
5 minutes.
That's fine. Uh-oh. I said the magic words. Or magic letters. Alright, dog, I've got nothing for you.
What's that? Your dog wants a treat whenever you get a personal best? That's awesome.
No, I mean, those two
I think he
letters
wants some,
represent something else.
I think he wants some peanut butter.
Yeah. Hi. Alright, now you're not going to leave me alone for the rest of the night, are you?
Well, you said the magic
think
words.
No, it's just because I kind of gave him like 4 snacks. Now he wants more. So this is a great interview.
Yeah.
My interview
went
proxy
really well.
was the best interview proxy we're ever going to have. He can't wait to do it again. I can tell you that for sure.
I can imagine. Do we know if Foxbot has a mic?
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, hey.
Sweet.
Congrats
Hi,
on
Fox.
your first tournament match. Finished
thank you.
pretty handily.
Pretty
GG.
sloppy, right?
I don't know, man. I was +5. I got a 52.
Yeah, I PV.
I didn't do too hot.
Nice. I noticed you were kind of running through enemies and just like focusing more on getting through the rooms rather than what most players I see do. They usually like stop and fight everything. Did you get much time to practice much beforehand?
Oh yeah, I had time. I can't say that I used that time effectively, but I definitely put in 10 or 20 runs before the race.
Have you ran other games in the past?
Not primarily, no. I've ran Half-Life 2, but not very fast at that one either.
Well, so far it's been looking pretty good. Like the focus on getting through is definitely something that's kind of harder for new runners to get used to.
Hmm.
You gonna be practicing more for your next match? You gonna have much time?
Yeah, probably.
Have you gone through Kirby's tutorial at all?
No, I haven't. I've just watched JRPs.
Okay. Yeah,
so sorry for
JRP
you.
and Kirby have have both put up some pretty good tutorial videos for learning the game.
Oh, I have an option to follow this Hercules bench press guy. What?
Make sure you follow Jack879.
Yes,
Yeah, follow
absolutely.
Jack879 and Foxbot. Don't follow me. You'll only be disappointed.
Well, either way, you seem like you're definitely you're getting used to how the rooms are laid out essentially, and like, oh man, ice cream truck is really distracting me. I'm excited to see your runs in the future and seeing like how much better you can do.
Fox,
Yeah,
how
definitely
long have you
trying to
been
get
running
around
this
better.
game?
Really,
Do you have a
little under
goal in
month
mind?
now. Goal, I'd like to get sub 50 at some point.
Awesome. I think for that it mainly takes just rehearsal, memorizing like all of the rooms you need to go through. And, the strats help like shave off seconds everywhere, but a lot of the time comes from memorization. So I think you'll learn. You'll be whittling down that time pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
Yay!
good luck, and thanks to the racers for the cool
Thanks for the race,
demonstration.
Fox.
Yeah, good race, man.
And thanks for Odin for the proxy interview.
He's still here. He wants more. One more run.
So
And then
has anything more been scheduled for the tournament so far?
next-
I believe
What's the next race?
next match is going to be at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Correct? Or is there one tomorrow?
that's been scheduled at least.
8 a.m. Wednesday is the next one that's shown at the top of the stream currently.
Okay. It wasn't.
We're just missing 2 matches from the first round to get scheduled.
Isn't I thought Shasta and X Dragon were scheduled theirs tomorrow.
Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was. That's my mistake.
Oh yeah, mine's tomorrow too.
Yours is Wednesday.
Yours is Wednesday.
That's
Except
tomorrow for him.
Wednesday is for tomorrow for him.
Our Wednesday.
You and your damn Australian time. Your fake Australian time.
Australian time zone's top tier though.
Top tier.
What's next on the speed gaming here? The speed gaming schedule.
Let's take a look.
Well, we got nothing else tonight, but it looks like we've got Metroid Prime tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern time right here. And then...
That's a nice watch.
Yeah, and then after that, we're going to be doing some stuff to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the release of the Super Nintendo. So we're going to play some games tomorrow evening, have some runs and some
Probably my
races
favorite
of...
console.
Yeah, it's a lot of people's favorite consoles. It's going to be pretty good. The release games, we're just doing the release games. There are five of them. It's F-Zero, Gradius 3, Pilot Wings, and SimCity, and Super Mario World. So Super Mario World, of course, is going to be a massive SRL race. We're still trying to nail down what form the other things are going to take, but we have a few runners lined up, and we'll probably do blind races or just big open public races of a few of those games tomorrow. So, yeah, that's what we got. And then the next Fusion, like you said, is going to be Wednesday. We got 3 Fusion races Wednesday.
Yeah. Day full of Fusion at that point.
Yeah.
Scattered all across, though.
Cool.
So
I'm looking
exciting.
forward to those. And thanks for JRP and Clueless for joining me on commentary.
No
Thanks, guys, for
worries.
commenting.
Quite welcome. It was an honor.
I would totally do
Thanks.
it myself, but I mean, you've got guys as good as you at commentating. It helps.
I
I
would
know
have
it
been
didn't-
a lot better if I wasn't so tired, because I literally just woke up and just started doing this.
You did fine.
Oh, at 10 a.m.?
And thanks to the racers, HerculesBenchpress, and Foxbot. And thanks
not
for
welcome.
Fiesel for hosting. And thanks everyone in the chat for watching. See you guys.
Bye, chat.
See you guys later.
Love
in the
you,
week.
Internet.
Magoo.